Greetings, folks. This is DC Investing. I've reached financial independence, and I talk about topics to help others on their pathway to financial independence. And one of the most important things to get right in early retirement and figure out how you're going to do it is your health care. And particularly if you're trying uh, to retire, say, a decade earlier than most folks like me, then you got to figure out healthcare. And so we have the ACA healthcare program, and it's actually a really good program for early retirees if you understand how to control your income. And so there are what's called subsidies, health sharing rebates or health sharing subsidies that can make your premiums, your out-of-pocket costs much cheaper than they otherwise would be if you understand how to get them. And so today's talk is going to be about MAGI, which stands for Modified Adjusted Gross Income, and particularly what things in that system count towards income and what doesn't count towards income. And so if you can keep your income low enough, then you get some really nice subsidies. And for a couple of two, I think the mark is somewhere around $84,000 a year of income. Below that, you get some subsidies, and the sweet spot is around $42,000 a year. At that mark, your out-of-pocket costs go way down, and your I don't know, there's some other costs that are much lower. If you can, it's called the 200% poverty level, whereas in that $84,000 range is the 400% poverty level. So anyhow, it pays to kind of learn the system and what works into it. And so things that don't count as MAGI income. So if you have a stock account, and let's say you bought $100,000 in Apple stock, and that stock appreciated to 20%, so you now have a $20,000 of a gain. If in early retirement you needed money to live on, and let's say you sold your Apple stock for $120,000, maybe some people could live off that for 2 years at $60,000 a year, or maybe it adds to it. What counts toward your MAGI is just the gain, just the capital gain. So that $20,000 gain that you made counts, but you had $120,000 to live on. So if you multiply that to say $1 million, if you have $1 million that you've invested in Apple stock, it appreciated by 20%. So your true account value is 1.2 million. Then you can slowly sell off portions of that every year. Let's say you needed to live for 10 years and every year you needed $120,000. You could sell off $120,000 for 1 year, and the only thing that counted towards MAGI was that 20% gain, or $20,000. So you have $120,000 to live on, but only $20,000 counts towards ACA insurance. So that gives you some flexibility to do some other interesting things. Like you could do a Roth conversion to soak up the difference between $20,000 of income and your, say, $42,000 income amount. So it's only the capital gain that counts towards MAGI, not the original basis that you use, your money that you use to buy shares. So if you have money in a bank account, the same thing's kind of true. It's only what you make in interest every year that counts toward your MAGI. So if you made, say, 3% on money sitting in a money market account on $100,000, $3,000 counts towards MAGI. Taking out $103,000 from your bank account only adds $3,000 towards your MAGI. So other things that don't count, if you have rental properties, you may be getting rents of a significant amount, but when your tax accountant depreciates the value of the structures on your property, it cancels out with some of those rental payments. Your interest, I think, that you pay on your mortgage for those things counts against it. And so, you may get something like $30,000 a year on a property for your total rent, but maybe the only part due to depreciation of all the different costs, maybe it's only $5,000 that it shows as profit. So it's only that $5,000 that counts towards MAGI. even though maybe you get the full $30,000 that you could live on, it's only part of it that would count towards your modified adjustable gross income. So that's something that counts. Anything that you pull out of a Roth IRA does not count as income for MAGI. And so, if you're old enough to be able to, if you've reached the age of 59 and a half, you can start pulling money out of Roth accounts. And any money you pull out doesn't count towards MAGI. So let's say you have $500,000 in your Roth accounts. You want to live for 10 years before you reach the age 65 for Medicare. You could pull $50,000 a year out of that every year for 10 years, and it doesn't add towards MAGI at all. So that's something that some people do, and there's something called a Roth conversion ladder that some folks do, and there's a rule that says money has to be in a Roth for 5 years before you can pull your contributions out. That's something to know, is you can pull contributions out of a Roth early, just not the increase. And so let's say, 5 years back, you converted $100,000 from a pre-retirement account or a pre-tax account into a Roth account. 5 years after that, you can then pull that contribution back out at no tax. And so some folks will figure out how they want to retire early. They get money in a Roth account, and they'll put, say, $50,000 in 5 years ago. Then 4 years ago, they put another $50,000 in, and 3 years ago, put another $50,000 in, so that when they choose to do early retirement, the original amount of $50,000 has been in there for at least 5 years, and you can take your contributions out tax-free. And so every year, because they converted starting 5 years ago, $50,000, every year another $50,000 becomes withdrawable in early retirement. So that's something people do as well. Or if you've just saved a lot through the many years, any contributions into a Roth account you can pull back out, not the growth, just the contributions. And there are ways to get really large amounts in Roth accounts. If you have a 401k at your workplace and you have the ability to do after-tax contributions, chances are you have the ability to do the super mega backdoor Roth conversion as part of your 401k. And you can actually get up to about $76,000 a year into a 401k between what you choose for pre-tax and after-tax. So I used this over the past 3 or 4 years, and one of the years I just maxed out my Roth contributions, and I put like $73,000 into my Roth account, which makes a huge difference. Now those do count as conversions because you're doing automatic in-plan conversions when you do that. So it's not like a contribution directly, it's still a conversion, but it's a way to get a ton of money in a Roth account. So overall, those are some of the things that don't count towards MAGI. Things that do count: Social Security, pensions count, interest, any dividends, even municipal bonds that don't count for tax on federal taxes do count towards MAGI. Basically, everything counts except those things that I kind of know of or mentioned. Oh, also return of capital. If you have a, say, a fund that, hold on, I got a cough. Excuse me. They have some covered call ETFs that pay return of capital. I don't recommend those. I think they're kind of risky, but they pay return of capital. That doesn't count as MAGI. Or master limited partnerships pay return of capital. That's basically giving you your money back until they've given it all back. You still own the same amount of shares. You still get the distributions year after year, but you're getting return of capital. Since by definition, they're giving your own money back to you, that is not counted in MAGI. And that's another thing you can use to lower your retirement or your income in early retirement. I think also some real estate syndicates do that same thing. I'm not one of those folks, but I've heard about it, that you put money in and the first thing they do is pay your capital back again, so you get return of capital from those. I hear a bunch of people are losing a ton of money on syndicates that they put money in over the last 5 years or so, but anyhow, that's something you could use. So return of capital doesn't count towards MAGI. Your basis in a stock share doesn't count. It's only the capital gain that does. Pulling money out of a Roth account does not count towards MAGI. And so early retirees use all of these tricks in order to kind of control their income before they qualify for Medicare, and then they get really reasonably priced health care. So this is just one of those educational videos that I'm trying to share with you what I've learned. We're all about in the finance or in the fire community, financial independence, retire early. It's like, how do you use your investments and your knowledge to get out of the rat race, to retire early so you have freedom from your time? What do you do in order to make that happen? And getting reasonably priced health insurance is one of those things. And you can do that by strategically planning years in advance for where you're going to put your funds so that you get income that's not going to count towards your MAGI, and then you get cheap health insurance. So like, subscribe. None of this is financial advice, of course. Talk to your own tax accountant, but those are some of the things that I have learned over time that have helped me. And I am retired today and getting decently priced health insurance from the ACA program, and it was part of how I retired. So like, subscribe. We'll see you. Bye.